Amrutha will be delivering a speech that she wrote herself about type 2 diabetes.
Envision the experience of observing someone who strives to manage a health condition that influences every single part of their life. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic condition that doesn't only affect the diagnosed, but families, acquaintances, and even social circles. This could require adaptation and extended support. In the world today, there are 400 million people suffering with type 2 diabetes. And get this, by 2045, there will be 700 million people. To begin, 90% of people with diabetes have type 2 diabetes. There's two types, type 1 and type 2. Today I'll be talking about type 2 diabetes. Wait, what even is type 2 diabetes? Type 2 diabetes is a chronic health condition that affects the way your body processes glucose and how insulin doesn't affect it. Glucose is a sugar that fuels up and energizes your body, while insulin is a hormone that is produced by your pancreas. Over here, the glucose is put into your blood system by the carbs and the food that we eat. So now the job of insulin is to take the glucose and transport it to our cells, which fuels up our body. But as you see over here, in insulin resistance, in a normal bloodstream, we have blue as glucose and yellow as insulin. We have insulin and glucose going in normally and insulin and glucose coming out. But in a body with insulin resistance, we have insulin and glucose coming out normally, but the only thing that moves is insulin. Glucose just ends up staying in your bloodstream. To put this into perspective, we have diabetes.uk.org that presented us with an analogy. So there's a grandma and a grandpa. The grandpa has hearing aids and just loves to watch his TV. But the grandma, she just wants to talk to her husband. So now, as the grandpa is watching TV, the grandma prances on and tries to talk to the grandfather. But the grandpa doesn't want to listen to her, so he slowly starts powering down his hearing aids. So I feel like we could connect the dots over here. The grandpa is the body who is resisting against the grandma, who is the pancreas that's producing the insulin. In type 2 diabetes, there are three main factors: genetics, lifestyle, and age. Genetics play a substantial role in type 2 diabetes, especially if you have family history with it. But lifestyle choices and changes are what actually matter, with obesity, inactive lifestyle, and unhealthy eating. Being overweight means you have excess fat around the abdomen. This directly links to insulin resistance. And in an inactive lifestyle, let's be honest here, we're always on our phones, texting on our computers, or working, driving in the car, or sitting on the bus. You have to be honest, we all lead pretty inactive lifestyles. But it is recommended by the doctors that we have at least 3 hours or 4 hours of physical activity each week. Next, the epitome of the United States and the Western land, unhealthy eating. In the United States, rich foods and carbonated fats are extremely relevant. We eat it every single day or week. Even I can't resist a late night Taco Bell run, but let's be honest, we all have to start eating a little healthy. Next, we have age. This plays a huge factor. Did you know that you could have type 2 diabetes for 10 years and not even know it? For example, we have a 45-year-old. He's healthy and doesn't know anything is happening. But all of a sudden, he starts noticing some changes. But it doesn't even get diagnosed that he has type 2 diabetes until 55 years old. So now we know what type 2 diabetes is and how it is caused. But let's see what the risks are. You might think that, oh, I'll just work out a little bit and it's just sugar that I have to stop taking it. But there's some serious risks. We have cataracts and glaucoma, which are eye problems. We have hypoglycemia, cognitive decline, mental health, and skin conditions. We have heart problems. Because we're taking so much sugar and glucose and that insulin doesn't get to put it inside our cells, it ends up staying in the bloodstream. And this causes a rush in the heart and its arteries. This group will require a pacemaker or even heart transplant. Next, we have a condition called neuropathy. This is nerve blockage. So now the insulin and glucose are still in the bloodstream. It's now blocking the nerves that reach your feet. So here's an analogy. We have my grandfather. He got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and got rashes and scabs on his feet. But taking light of this situation, he didn't realize all these scabs because of its numbness. And because of type 2 diabetes and neuropathy, the nerves in his feet, the foundation of our body, were getting blocked. So what happened over here is he didn't realize that these parts were getting blocked, and because of the numbness on his feet, he never took this account into action. So this led to the amputation of both his feet. Here's a famous quote by Dr. Andrew Weil, a renowned medicine specialist that talks on the management of type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is not a disease of sugar, but a disease of lifestyle. By changing the way we move, the way we eat, and the way we live, we can not only prevent type 2 diabetes, but also reverse it. In unity, we could cultivate ambition, determination, knowledge, and resources to help those that are tormented by this disease in their everyday life, by encouragement and conscious raising. Medicine evolves daily. The way our body adapts to it changes daily. But the real question is, how will we, as beings, take this message forward, present it to our future generations, and strive to make a difference? Thank you.
Fantastic job, Amrutha.